Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we had discussed the sixth chapter of the first canto. In that, we had discussed how Krishna Vyasadev he asked Narad Muni, what did you do after the Bhaktivedantists they left? And Narad Muni he continued the story and he told how his mother she was bitten by a snake and she died, and then Narad Muni he considered it as a mercy of the Lord. Tada tadahamishyasya bhaktanam shamapipsitah anugraham manyamana pratishtham dishamuttaram, and he left everything and went to the forest and he meditated as he was instructed by the Bhaktivedantists, and he attained perfection. He became Narad Muni. And that's what Sud Goswami he told. He glorified. He ended the chapter by glorifying Narad Muni. Aho devarshi dhanyoyam yat kirti saranga dhanvanaha gayan madhyan idam tantrya ramayatyaturam jagat. So in this way he glorified Narad Muni, who keeps on reciting the glories of Supreme Lord. So today we'll take the seventh chapter, the son of Drona punished. So Shaunak Rishi, after he heard the wonderful discussion of Narad Muni, and he heard that Narad Muni in this way he instructed Vyasadeva and then he departed. So then Shaunak Rishi asked a question. Nirgate Narade Suta Bhagavan Badarayanaha Shrutavam Sadabhi Pretam Tatah Kim Makaro Dvibhu. So he asked Sut Goswami, "Oh Sut Goswami, after Narad Muni left, what did this Badarayana?" Badarayana means the son of uh, uh, so Badarayana means Vyasadev. Bhagavan Badarayana. So son of Parashar Muni, Vyasadev, what did he do after he heard all the instructions from Narad Muni? Tatah kim akarod vibhu, what did he do? So, that's what Shaunak Rishi asked. So Sudha Goswami, he continues the discussion. He tells that, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, there was the ashram of Vyasadev. And that ashram was situated at the Samya Prash. The place was Samya Prash. So Prabhupada writes, what is the significance of ashram and what is actually ashram? So he says that actually for spiritual advancement, a suitable place and atmosphere is very, very important. Just like we all have experienced that when we come to temple, it is very, very conducive. It is very, very suitable to become absorbed in Krishna, to take part in chanting and kirtan and lecture. It is so very natural to be absorbed while we are in the temple. Similarly, there is a particular place for spiritual advancement. And Sud Goswami tells that, Vyasadev, he was staying in that suitable place which was situated at the Samya Prasha. And Prabhupada writes that actually Vyasadev was a householder, but still the residential place of Vyasadev is called as ashram. So it is very, very significant. Prabhupada writes, what is an ashram? Ashram is not just a place where renunciants they live. Ashram is a place where spiritual culture is foremost. So even for householders, it does not matter whether one is a renunciant or a householder. If at one's place the spiritual atmosphere is foremost, that place is called as ashram. So sannyasis, they are renunciants externally and internally. Externally they wear a dress of a renunciant, and internally also they are having that disposition. Grihasthas, they are renunciants internally. So externally they may be having a dress of a householder, having all the things they have to do in the world. Internally they should be a renunciant. That is what we are supposed to cultivate in ourselves. So the renunciation of a grihastha may not manifest externally, but internally, they should focus on a renounced order. That is what is Kunti Maharani telling. Namo kinchana vittaya nivritta gunavrittaye atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namaha. Namo akinchana vittaya. She tells that you are the property of impoverished. One who is renunciant internally, Lord is the property of that person. So everybody should be renunciant in their heart. And that place is called ashram. If Krishna is in the center of our house, then that house is a ashram. Grihastha ashram. That's why we call it as ashram. Ashram means a place where Krishna is in the center. Spiritual culture is foremost. So Vyasadev, he sat down to meditate at his ashram, and as he had been instructed by Vyasadev, instructed by Narad Muni. Narad Muni had instructed in the 5th chapter, in the 13th verse, Samadhina snusmara vicheshtitam. So Narad Muni had told Vyasadev that you meditate on the Supreme Lord. So following the instructions of Narad Muni, Vyasadev, he started meditating on the Supreme Lord. And then what did he see in his meditation? Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam chadadapashrayam. With the mind fixed in devotion, bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale. Perfectly, samyak means perfectly, he fixed his mind in devotional service on whom? Apashyat purusham purnam. He fixed his mind without any tinge of material contamination, amale, and he saw purusham purnam. He saw the supreme personality of Godhead, but not alone. He saw mayam chatatapashrayam. He saw material energy also nearby. So whenever we see Krishna, Krishna is never alone. Krishna is always there with his energies. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that what is a perfect vision? Perfect vision is only possible by practicing devotional service. And perfect vision means to have a Bhagavan realization. Not just Paramatma, Not just Brahman, not just Paramatma, but Bhagavan realization. That is called Samyak. That is called perfect realization. And therefore, Vyasadeva, he saw Supreme Lord along with the material energy. So now Vyasadeva, he saw the Lord along with the potencies, and then in the next verse, he sees the condition of a living entity. Yaya sammohito jivo atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manutenartham tatkritam chapi padyate. He saw the condition of a living entity. Yaya sammohito jivo. Living entity, due to the external energy, sammohito is illusioned. Atmanam trigunatmakam. Although living entity is para, living entity is transcendental, he is not affected by the three modes of material nature, but still he thinks that he is belonging to the three modes of material nature. Paropi manute anartham tatkritam cha vipadyate. And because we, living entity, we start identifying ourselves with the material nature, then we have to suffer all the reactions, whatever is coming along with that. So Prabhupada writes, this is a root cause of suffering in this material world. What is the root cause of suffering? We start identifying ourselves with the material nature. Oh, this is me and this is mine. Ahamta and mamata. Just like if somebody goes to a movie theater and all the lights are off and then the movie goes on. So when the hero is getting beaten up by the villain, the audience also gets so much disturbed. And when the hero is enjoying, audience also feels happy. Nothing is happening to the audience, but still the audience is, experiencing the emotions because they start identifying with the actor. We start identifying ourselves with this material body, and that's why we suffer in this material world. Prabhupada writes in third canto, it is as if, what is our condition? Our condition is like a person sleeping and in the dream, he sees his own head being cut off. Is it possible? The eyes are in the head. How can we see our own head being cut off? That is just a dream. That is a night dream, and then there is a daydream. When we start thinking that we are this body, and that is the cause of suffering. And that is the, so somebody may ask, okay, Vyasdev, he saw Maya. And Vyasdev, he saw the Supreme Lord. That was needed because Narad Muni told him to write about the Supreme Lord. But why did he see the Maya Devi? Why did he see material energy? Because without analyzing the disease, one cannot give the prescription. Without understanding the problem, one cannot give the proper medicine. So because the living entities, we are afflicted by material energy, material nature, material conditionings. So if we want to come out of it, Vyasdev has to give the prescription. So therefore Vyasdev, he saw material energy also. So understanding the material nature is also important so that we don't get affected by it. That's what Ishopanishad tells. Vidyam cha avidyam chayas. We should know what is Vidya and what is Avidya also. So that we are aware, okay, this is the place, I don't have to go there. So then after seeing the disease, then Vyasadeva, he sees the solution part. Anartha upasamam shakshad bhakti yogam madhokshaje lokasya ajanato vidvam chakre satvata samhitam. Now Vyasadeva is giving the medicine. What is the medicine for the disease of material existence? Bhakti yogam adhokshaje. By the process of devotional service, anartha upashamam. All the material miseries of the living entities can be destroyed, upashamam, by Bhakti Yogam Adhokshaje. There is only one way by which we can come out of the material miseries permanently. Bhakti Yoga, by the process of devotional service. But the problem is, people they don't understand. People they don't know this. Lokasya ajanato vidvams. Mass of the people they do not know this. So therefore, for the welfare of people in general, Chakre Satvata Samhitam, Vyasdev, he wrote this Satvat Samhita. He wrote this Vedic literature which is called as Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the revival of the dormant Krishna consciousness does not depend on anything external. It only depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. Only when Lord shows mercy, when the Lord is satisfied, then he will show mercy. When the Lord will be satisfied? When the Lord sees the sincere efforts of the devotee. Are we struggling enough? Are we striving enough? Otherwise, we will not come out of it. It is not so easy. Bahu janma kare yadi shravana kirtana tabutana paye Krishna pade prem dhan. If we are not focused and attentive, even if we chant for many, many lifetimes, we will not attain love for Krishna. So therefore, Lord is not satisfied by how many services, by the magnitude of services. He is satisfied by the attitude behind those services. So we have to serve the Lord in right consciousness. That is very, very important. So first, Vyasdev saw the Lord. Then he saw the Lord with all the potencies, all the amshas, and then he saw the uh, illusory potency also. And then he saw the way living entities can come out of this illusory potency. And that is the process of devotional service. And specifically in this process of devotional service, which is the most important part, Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktirutpadyate pumsam shokamoha bhayapaha. Yasyam vai shruyamanayam, simply by giving oral reception, by hearing Krishne paramapurushe, by hearing about Krishna who is a supreme Lord, who is ultimate Purusha. What will happen? Bhaktirutpadyate pumsam, loving devotional sentiments will appear in the heart. Shoka, moha, bhayapaha. And when Krishna appears in the heart, when Krishna appears in the lotus of the heart of a devotee, shoka, moha, bhaya, apaha. One becomes free from lamentation, moha illusion, and fearfulness. So if we are still fearful, if we are still lamenting, if we are still in illusion, that means Krishna has not entered the heart yet. We may be speaking big, big philosophy, but if we are not sincerely everyday praying, shoka moha bhayapaha will not happen. And actually, shoka moha bhayapaha is not the end product of bhakti. It is a byproduct of bhakti. The main product of Shruyamanayam, the main thing which one gets by hearing about Krishna is devotional service. Bhaktir utpadyate. So Bhagavatam not only mitigates the miseries, but also gives devotional service. Shoka, moha, bhayapaha will happen. Along with that, bhakti will also appear. So Prabhupada writes, out of all the organs, of all the sense organs, ear is the most important and most effective organ. You know. And Prabhupada and Chakravarti Thakur writes a very, very beautiful purport. So Prabhupada writes that when a man is asleep, all the senses are inactive, only ears are helping a person at that time. When a man is sleeping and he is in danger, he hears something, he gets up. All the other senses are of no use. So in the process of devotional service, hearing is very, very important. Chakravarti Thakur writes, can you imagine, just by hearing it, just by hearing about the Supreme Lord, love of God arises. What to speak of, greater effect which will appear if you engage others in hearing. If you call some of your friends, okay, you please come to temple and attend this Bhagavatam class. Greater effect. What greater effect will be there in speaking? If just hearing is so very wonderful, speaking is much, much more greater. And then he tells, actually, there is something even greater than speaking. If you engage others in speaking this message of Krishna Katha, if you engage others, if somebody is organizing, if somebody is arranging a program and inviting others to speak, the organizer gets the maximum benefit. So therefore, hearing is so very important. So devotional service begins with hearing. As Rukmini Devi, she had never seen Krishna in her life. She had just heard about Krishna. And just by hearing about Krishna, she had developed such loving, intense affection for Krishna. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shinvatam te nirvishya karna vivarai harato angatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labham tvai achyuta vishati chittam apatrapam me. So she's writing a letter to Krishna and telling, "Oh my Lord, I have heard about your qualities, I have heard about your glories. That's how I have become attached to you." So hearing is the only way to become attached to Krishna. So then Sud Goswami continues that Vyasadev, after he compiled Bhagavatam, Anarthopasamam Shakshat Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaje Lokasya Ajanato Vidvam Chakre Satvata Samhitam. So he compiled Bhagavatam. Then after that, what he did? Every parent wants that their children should also become devotee. So Vyasadev also taught this Bhagavatam to his own son, Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami is already situated in self-realization. Tasya putro mahayogi samdrin nirvikalpakah ekant matirunidro gudho mudhi veyate. In the 4th chapter we had heard that Shukdev Goswami was already situated in impersonal Brahman, but still Vyasadeva wanted his son to become a devotee. So Shaunak Rishi, he asked a question that Shukdev Goswami, he was already a liberated soul. So how can a liberated soul take interest in Bhagavatam? Because liberated soul is indifferent to everything. So how can a liberated soul take interest in Bhagavatam? So then the very, very famous verse is spoken by Suta Goswami. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Pyurukrame Kurvantya Hetuki Bhaktim Ittam Bhuta Guno Hari. Atma Ramascha Munayo. All the different varieties of Atma Rama. Atma Ram means one who is self-satisfied. One who is self-satisfied, he has nothing to gain from outside. Nirgrantha means he has no material desires. Still, they also get attracted. Kurvanti ahetuki bhakti. They also get attracted to the wonderful process of devotional service. That's the wonderful nature of devotional service. Everybody gets attracted to devotional service. Even Brahmavadis who have nothing to get in this world, they also get attracted. In the 3rd canto, there is a story how 4 Kumaras, they were great Brahmavadis like Shukdev Goswami. They also got attracted. Just by smelling the fragrance of Tulasi which was offered on the lotus feet of Krishna, they also got agitated by feelings of devotion. तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्र तुलसी मकरन्दवायु अन्तर्गतस्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्नवोः. When they smelled the aroma of the tulsi which was offered on the lotus feet of the Lord, they became agitated by feelings of devotion. That is the power of Krishna consciousness. Everybody can get attracted to Krishna. Krishna can attract all the species of life. Who is that personality in the universe who will not get attracted to Krishna? Hare Gunakshiptamatir Bhagavan Badarayani Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriya Hare Gunakshiptamati. So when Shukadeva Goswami he heard Bhagavatam, what happened? His mind became absorbed in Hari. Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam. And then you know what he did? He underwent the study of this great narration. He himself studied Bhagavatam, Nityam Vishnu Janapriya, and he became very dear to devotees also. So this is very interesting. So Shukadeva Goswami, because he was such a great devotee himself, he was dear to other devotees also. So Shukadeva Goswami, because he had himself assimilated the essence of Bhagavatam, he could attract others to Bhagavatam also. So unless if somebody is not himself or herself attracted to something, he cannot attract others to that thing. So if we want to attract others to Krishna, we have to ourselves get attracted to Krishna. It's like Shukadeva Goswami was attracted. He had assimilated Bhagavatam. That's why when he spoke Bhagavatam, it was so very sweet. Nigam kalpataror galitam phalam. It was like nectar. That even Vyasdev, even Narad Muni was sitting and hearing from Shukadeva Goswami. Shukmukad amrit dravya samyutam. It was like nectar coming from the mouth. So therefore, because Shukadeva Goswami was such a great devotee, he was dear to the other devotees also. So this is the secret. How to become dear to the devotees? When we come together and hear Krishna Katha together. That is the most powerful way to develop deep, loving relationship with devotees. So now, from 4th chapter till 7.11, the answer to the first question about the history of Bhagavatam was discussed by Suta Goswami. So sages of Naimisharanya, they had asked few questions at the beginning of the 4th chapter. Please tell us about the history of Bhagavatam, when it was written, why it was written, how it was written, who wrote. And then please tell us about the hearer of the Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj. Please tell us about the speaker of Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami. And how did the meeting between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami took place? So first question is answered now. So now the second question about the Parikshit Maharaj, the hearer of the Bhagavatam, that Suta Goswami will continue. So Suta Goswami, he started the description of the events which led to the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. But what happened in between? He went in the flow. So rather than continuing the story of birth of Parikshit, he went on to explain how Ashwatthama tried to kill Parikshit, and then Krishna saved, and then Kunti Maharani offered prayers, and then Krishna departed from Hastinapur and then entered Dwarka. So in this way, after 11th chapter, the sages, they ask, sometimes this happens in the Bhagavatam class. The speaker, he goes in a flow and then he completely goes, in a separate description, which was not the original question, not the original theme. So, after 11th chapter, the sages of Naimisharanya, they remind Suta Goswami, please tell us about the original question, about the Parikshit Maharaj's life. So then in the 12th chapter again, the Suta Goswami, he describes the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. So the sages of Naimisharanya, they had asked about the hearer of Bhagavatam. So Sud Goswami now starts the description of the hearer of Bhagavatam. Parikshito ath rajarshir janma karma vilapanam samstham cha pandu putranam vakshe Krishna kathodayam. So Sud Goswami tells, O sages, you know what I am going to tell now? I am going to tell about Parikshit Maharaj. Janma, Karma, Vilapanam. I'll tell about the birth, about the activities, and about the deliverance of Parikshit Maharaj. Also, I will tell you about the deliverance of the Pandavas. Samstham cha Pandu Putranam, how they renounced the world and went to the Himalayas. Vakshe, I will tell you everything. Why? Krishna Kathodayam, because they are related to Krishna. Prabhupada writes, without Krishna, all the literatures like Puranas and Mahabharata, they are simply historical facts. If Krishna is not there, they are just material histories. With Krishna, they become transcendental. So as devotees, we should try to, discuss about Krishna as much as possible. Anything related to Krishna is purifying. Any katha related to Krishna is purifying. Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada gives a warning. He says, there is a class of less intelligent devotees who think, oh, Krishna Leela, 10th canto, and that too, Ras Leela, oh wow. They, they are the most important topics to be heard. And they don't give any importance to the other 9 cantos. Prabhupada writes, the readers are specifically told herein that the other cantos of Bhagavatam are as important as the 10th canto. One should not jump over to the 10th canto and discuss and hear the pastimes of Krishna in the 10th canto and especially Rasa Leela. Nobody should try to go into the matters of 10th canto without systematically going through all the 9 cantos. Because it is described in the 5th canto and the topics of 10th canto are more difficult to understand than the topics of other 9 cantos. Somebody may say, how is it possible? The 10th canto topics are so sweet. You can just hear, they are all stories. They are stories. But to understand the 10th canto is not so easy. Unless you understand who is this person who is behaving like a child, who is dancing with the girls, in the middle of the night. Unless you understand who is this Krishna, you might take it very lightly. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, one should not directly jump to the 10th canto. So Sud Goswami, he begins the story. He tells what happened after the battle of Kurukshetra. So battle of Kurukshetra was over and then Pandavas had won the war. And only few warriors were remaining. Ashwathama was there, one of them. Ashwathama, he was feeling very, very angry because, Pandavas had killed his father and he wanted to do something for his master Duryodhan. So he goes in the middle of the night and he killed the 5 sons of Pandavas, thinking them to be Pandavas. They cut off the head of all the 5 sons of Draupadi and brought in front of Duryodhan, thinking that, oh, Duryodhan will be very happy. But when Duryodhan realized that they are not Pandavas, they are the sons of Pandavas, he became so very unhappy. He was displeased. Because although Duryodhan was so very sinful, wicked, but still he was thinking at least these were the last, uh, descendants of our dynasty and you have killed them also. So he was not pleased even a bit. Prabhupada writes again in the purport, Gita is Krishna Katha because it is spoken by Krishna. Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha because it is spoken about Krishna. So both are very, very important. These two literatures, Gita and Bhagavat, they are very very important literatures for Vaishnavas, especially Bhagavatam, because Gita is a pan-Vedic book. Everybody reads Gita, whoever, uh, whichever caste or society or organization they may be, whoever they may be. Everybody, every Indian reads Bhagavatam. Every Hindu reads Bhagavatam, but reads Bhagavad Gita. Every Hindu reads Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavatam makes one a Vaishnava. Nityam Vishnu Janapriya. Bhagavatam is Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Bhagavatam is priya to Vaishnavas. If we call ourselves Vaishnavas, Bhagavatam should be dear to us. As much as possible, we should try to soak our mind and consciousness in the pastimes of Bhagavatam. So Sud Goswami continues that, after Ashwatthama, he killed all the 5 sons of Pandavas. Draupadi, she was so very morose and she was crying and lamenting and, eyes full of tears. Arjuna, he wanted to pacify Draupadi. He went to Draupadi and he told, "Oh, gentle lady, when I present to you the head of that Brahmana," Ashwatthama was a Brahmana. He was son of Dronacharya. He was a Brahmana, but he was behaving as a Kshatriya. So Arjuna told, "When I bring you the head of that Brahmana, after burning your sons, you can stand on the head of that Brahmana and take your bath. Then you'll be satisfied. I'll get you the head of that Brahmana." So he went on, he charged to arrest Ashwatthama. So Arjuna, he was guided by the Supreme Lord, and he wanted to fulfill the words which he had given to Draupadi. So he gets into the chariot and he instructs the chariot driver. And who is that? Krishna. So first time Krishna is entering Bhagavatam here. He's the hero of Bhagavatam is entering the Bhagavatam for the first time. How he is entering Bhagavatam? Such a humble way. He's entering as a chariot driver. If you have seen a movie, sometimes in the movie it is shown how the hero of the movie enters with a bang. The heroine is being captured by the villain and she's crying and shouting, and the hero comes in a car, and with a screeching halt, the car stops and the door opens, and the hero, the camera is focusing on the feet of that person, the hero. Slowly the camera goes up to the face. That's how with a bang hero enters the movie. The hero of Bhagavatam, Krishna, is entering in such a humble way as a chariot driver. Same way Krishna is entering Bhagavad Gita also. Exact same way. Tata shvetair hayair yukte mahati syandane sthito madhava pandavaschaiva divyao shankho pradadmatuhu. Same way Krishna is entering in the Bhagavad Gita as a chariot driver. So Krishna is so very humble. Bhagavatam does not make Krishna as a prominent character. Bhagavatam makes Krishna's Bhakta Vatsalyata as a prominent emotion. How Krishna is ready to do anything for his devotees. That is what Bhagavatam is showing. Through all the stories of Bhagavatam, it is shown how Krishna is ready to do anything for his devotees. Throughout Bhagavatam, Krishna is ready to show the glories of his devotees. So now Arjuna, he told Krishna, and Krishna along with Arjuna is going to chase after Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama, he saw Arjuna coming in a great speed. He became full of fear and anxiety. He understood that Arjuna is coming to kill me. He ran. He sat in the chariot and he was running away. He ran with full speed, but the horses, they were getting tired. He understood that I cannot run anymore. My horses have become tired, and he was becoming fearful of death. So now he had no option left. He had only one thing. When demoniac people, when they are faced with danger, they have two options. Either they commit suicide or they destroy everything. So Ashwatthama, now his life was in danger. So he invoked Brahmastra, the most formidable weapon of Brahma. Ashwatthama, he had incomplete knowledge of Brahmastra. He knew how to, release that Brahmastra, but he did not know how to retract it back. Because if a Brahmastra is not, shot properly or released properly, it can destroy the entire universe. But because Ashwatthama was in great anxiety and fear, he did not consider any of that. He just released Brahmastra. He chanted mantras. He touched the water for purification. He chanted mantras and he released Brahmastra. There was a light spreading in all the directions. When Arjuna he saw this, he understood that his life is in danger. He addressed Krishna. Now the first set of prayers are coming in Bhagavatam. First time, Second, the next chapter, Kunti Maharani will offer prayers. Now, before that, this is the first time, somebody is offering prayers to Krishna. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tomeko Dahyamananam Apavargo Si Samsrite. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho, oh Krishna, out of anxiety he's calling twice. Oh Krishna, oh Krishna. You are Mahabahu, you are supremely powerful. Bhaktanam Abhayankara. You give fearlessness to your devotees. Tomeko Dahyamananam Apavargo Si Samsrite. In this world, everybody is burning. Samsara Dava Nalali Dhaloka. Every day we sing this song. Arjuna is telling, Tomeko Dahyamananam. Everyone is burning in the flame of material existence. Only you can release them. You can give the relief. So twice, he's addressed Krishna, Krishna. One time one devotee was editing, Prabhupada, he would speak in the dictaphone and somebody would transcribe. So the transcription was done and it was written Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So the devotee was editing. He thought maybe it is, some mistake. Why the same word Shri Shri 2 times? Does not make sense. So he edited one Shri. Prabhupada again, he would always see the edited version. So he called that devotee. He said, look, when I am translating in your language, you edit. When I am translating in my language, you don't edit. So this Shri Shri is a Sanskrit. It is ornamentation. So here also Krishna, Krishna. Twice Arjuna is addressing Krishna. So Brahmastra was so fierce that Arjuna, he felt that his life is in danger. Very interestingly, if our life is in danger, automatically we'll go and first thing which we'll tell to the Lord is, please save me, O my Lord. Very interestingly, how Krishna is offering prayers. We have to learn to offer prayers. When we go in front of the Lord, we have to glorify the Lord. First, we have to glorify the Lord. That's what now Arjuna will do in 4 verses. And then just in the last verse, he will ask for protection. So Arjuna is telling, please, oh my Lord, you are the only one who can release one from the distress of material existence. Prabhupada writes, a devotee is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Devotee always knows whatever is happening in my life, it is happening by the will of Krishna. So he is fearless. So when Krishna, he heard this prayer, he may tell, Arey, I am your cousin. I am equal to you. Why you are praying to me in this way? Why are you speaking like this? Arjuna tells, no, 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 no. You are not ordinary. You are not like me. You are transcendental. Tomadya Purusha Shakshadishvara Prakrite Paraha Mayam Vyudasya Chitshaktya Kaivalya Sthita Atmani. Oh my Lord, you are original personality of Godhead. You are Adi Purusha. You are beyond the material energy. Ishvara Prakrite Para. Entire material energy is working under you. And you know, my Lord, you are always merciful. You're always merciful to all the living entities. And whatever you are doing in this world, you are doing just for the welfare of people in general. Saiva jiva lokasya maya mohita chetasaha vidhatse svena viryena shreyo dharmadi lakshanam. You know, you are establishing the principles of dharma, you are yourself following them just so that people in general can follow. And you know why you have appeared in this world, O my Lord? You appear in this world to remove the burden of the world and to show mercy to your devotees. Okay, what do you want? Why are you praying all these things? Kimidam switkuto veti deva deva na vidamyaham sarvato mukhamayati tejah paramadarunam. Then he is expressing his prayer. Then he is expressing the reason for his prayer. Kimidam, are from where this light is coming? Deva Deva, O Supreme Lord, I am not understanding from where this light has come. Sarvatam Mukhamayati, are this light is coming from all the directions. And the fire, the heat is tormenting entire universe. Prabhupada writes in the purport, anything that is presented before the Supreme Lord should be so done after due presentation of the respectful prayers. We should never forget the right etiquette. Etiquettes are the ornaments of a Vaishnava. Whenever we are dealing with the devotees or Supreme Lord, we should always be respectful. We should never, forget the etiquettes of devotional service. These are the ornaments of a Vaishnava. We cannot just surpass the rituals of devotional service. No, we are familiar, we can speak like this, chalega. No, we can express our need before the Supreme Lord, but before expressing the need, we have to glorify the Lord. We have to recognize the position of the Lord. These are not just the formalities of devotional service. We should not think, oh, these are just artificial. It looks so artificial. No, if we continue to follow it, even if it is now looking artificial, it will become our nature. So when Arjuna offered his prayers, now Krishna gives a solution. He tells, this is the effect of the Brahmastra which is thrown by Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama, out of fear, he has thrown this Brahmastra, although he does not know how to retract it back. And it is described that actually, Arjuna had seen many Brahmastras. Why he could not understand that this is a Brahmastra? So one Acharya gives the reason. Because, generally, when the Brahmastra is thrown, the light should come from above. But because Ashwatthama, he did not know the right way to release Brahmastra, he had done some mistake. Therefore, the light was coming from all the directions. And therefore, Arjuna got confused. He was thinking, I have seen many Brahmastras, but this does not look like Brahmastra. The light is coming from all sides. So therefore, he approached Krishna, and Krishna then gave the solution. He says, release another Brahmastra and retract both of them. So Arjuna, when he heard this, he shot Brahmastra, he circumambulated Krishna, he chanted mantras, and he released another Brahmastra. And the two Brahmastras, when they collided, the effect of the two Brahmastra was unimaginable. A great ball of fire was created, which was covering all the outer space, and all the inhabitants of three planetary systems. Everybody experienced the heat of that Brahmastra. Everybody was getting tormented. And then, according to the will of Krishna, Arjuna retracted both of them. The word used is matam cha vasudevasya, because it was the will of Krishna. So this is very important. Prabhupada focuses on that word matam cha vasudevasya. In this world, nothing happens without the will of the Lord. Living entities, we may desire something, but if our will matches with the whim of the Lord, then things happen. Otherwise, we may desire so many things. If Lord does not want it, it will not happen. Ultimately, the whim of the Lord prevails, not the will of the living entities. So therefore, everything in this world is happening by the will of the Lord and whim of the Lord also. Now, who are we? We may think, oh, we are so very powerful and we have such strength. Prabhupada writes in 14th chapter, when very beautiful purport in the verse, Tadvai dhanush tai shavah ratho hayaste soham rathi nipatayas tadanamanti sarvam shanen tadabhu dasadi shariktam bhasmam hutam kuhakaradam ivaptumushyam. Arjuna is telling, he was defeated by some infidel cowherd men. He could not save the queens of Krishna. He comes back morose and he tells, this is the same Gandiva. This is the same chariot warrior. This is my same chariot. Still, I could not do anything. I could not save the queens of Krishna from those infidel cowherd men. Prabhupada writes, all our power is given by Krishna. One should not be puffed up by the borrowed plumes. Very profound statement. Whatever skills, whatever capacity, capabilities we have, everything is given by Krishna. We should not be proud of the borrowed plumes. Matam cha vasudevasya. All our pride, all our strength, all our capacity, all our skills can be, taken away immediately. Matam cha vasudevasya. Powers or skills are not needed to go back to the spiritual world. Only bhakti is needed. And Krishna had shown this again and again, has shown this through his devotees. So Arjuna retracted both the Brahmastras and his eyes were blazing with anger. With the ropes, he bound Ashwatthama. And, Arjuna, he wanted to take Ashwatthama. He did not kill Ashwatthama. He did not cut off the head of Ashwatthama as he had promised to Draupadi. He wanted to take Ashwatthama back to the military camp. Krishna, he became very angry. He also wanted to be in the mood as Arjuna. He also became angry and he spoke to angry Arjuna in 5 verses. He supported killing of Ashwatthama. He says, "O Arjun, you should not show mercy to this Brahmana. He is a Brahma Bandhu and he has killed your son. He has killed innocent boys. Just because he is born in a Brahmana family, don't consider that he is a Brahmana. He is a Brahma Bandhu." Prabhupada gives an example. Just like a son born in the family of a court judge, high court judge, does not automatically become a high court judge. He has a conducive environment, but just by being born in the family of a high court judge, the son does not become a high court judge. Krishna tells, please kill this Brahmana. Mattam pramattam unmattam suptam balam striyam jadam prapannam viratham bhitam naripam hanti dharmavit. Another reason he gives. Oh, this Ashwatthama, he has violated the codes of the war. It is said that nobody should kill a person who is Matta, careless. Pramatta, intoxicated. Unmatta, mad. Suptam, while he is sleeping. Children should never be killed. Women should never be killed. A foolish person should never be killed. One who surrenders should never be killed. One who is not on the chariot, one who is fearful, these people should never be killed. And this Ashwatthama has killed the sleeping sons of yours. Kill him. He is cruel and wretched, you know. And anybody who kills others just to live, he deserves to be killed. Prabhupada writes in the purport. A life for a life is a just punishment for a person who cruelly lives at the cost of others. If somebody does a murder, it is a justice, it is a favor to him to hang him or kill him. And Prabhupada in the purport, he talks about animal killing also, and he tells that all people who are involved in the animal killing, they are responsible. Person who kills, person who buys the meat, who cooks the meat, who eats, everybody is responsible. Krishna tells. Do you remember the promise you made to Draupadi? You had told Draupadi that you will get the head of Ashwatthama. This man is the assassin. He is a murderer of your sons. Please kill him. And on top of that, he has dissatisfied his master also. He is like a burnt remnant of his family. Kill him immediately. So Krishna, he gave 5 reasons why Ashwatthama should be killed. But interestingly, Krishna did not want Ashwatthama to be killed. He was just testing Arjuna. Sometimes some instructions are given, but they are given to test us. And the more we are matured and more we understand the mood of the master or the authority, we will act accordingly. It requires intelligence. It requires relationship to understand the intentions. So Sud Goswami tells that actually it was a test. Evam parikshata dharmam partha krishnena choditah naichadhantum gurusutam yadyapyatmahanam mahan. It was a pariksha. It was a test. Evam parikshata dharmam. Krishna was testing Arjuna in the religious principles. Na ichhad, but Arjuna passed the test. Arjuna knew the nature of Krishna. Chakravarti Thakur writes that Arjuna, he knew the nature of Krishna. And Krishna, what is the nature of Krishna? Very interesting purport is given by Chakravarti Thakur. You know what is the nature of Krishna? Krishna likes to test his devotees. Why? In order to show their sense of justice. Krishna wants to test. Everybody will be tested without fail. If test has not come, that means Krishna has not taken us seriously so far. Krishna for sure will test. He tested everybody. He tested Parikshit Maharaj. He tested gopis. He tested Dhruva by allurements. He told gopis, you go back. He told Dhruva, you ask something. Even Shukdev Goswami tested Parikshit Maharaj 3 times in Bhagavatam, you know. In the 6th canto, he tested the knowledge of Parikshit Maharaj. In the 9th canto, and you know, Shukdev Goswami summarized the entire 10th canto in just 2 verses. He tested the eagerness of Parikshit Maharaj to hear Krishna Katha. In the 11th canto, and in the 12th canto again, Shukdev Goswami tested the philosophical understanding and steadiness in bhakti of Parikshit Maharaj. So we will be tested for sure. We will be tested for our philosophical understanding. We will be tested for our eagerness to hear about Krishna. We will be tested for our steadiness in devotional service. Are we really wanting devotional service only? How much convinced we are about the philosophy? How much eager we are to hear about Krishna. Everything will be tested by Krishna. Krishna will test for sure. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Lord Krishna puts to test many of his devotees just to magnify the sense of duty. Krishna will test everybody. So therefore, if we are getting some instructions which are not clear, better not to execute those instructions. So Arjuna, he didn't kill Ashwatthama. He entrusted that Brahmana Ashwatthama to his wife. And Draupadi, being a very soft-hearted lady, due to her female nature, it is described Vama Svabhava. Because of her female nature, she was naturally good and well behaved. She gave all the due respects to a Brahmana. She told, oh, this person is a Brahmana. And she gives so many reasons. Prabhupada writes a very wonderful purport. He says, Draupadi, she was showing her Vama Swabhava, just womanly nature, mind and gentle nature. But we should not give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. It is nice to be gentle, but discriminatory power should not be given up. Some devotees are mild like Draupadi. Some devotees are firm like Bhima. Bhima was telling, kill him. But they never disagree in their intentions to please Krishna. We may disagree with the ways a service should be done, but none of the devotees will have conflict in the Siddhanta. No, I think Krishna is not supreme. No. Different devotees have different nature. Even the incarnations have different nature. Ram, dharma parayan. Galti kiya, punishment, whoever you may be. Wife, brother, punishment. Krishna, prem parayan. गलती किया ना, अपना आदमी है ना, वो साइड में लो इसको, devotee है. He didn't kill Indra, he didn't kill Brahmaji, he didn't kill Kaliya. Kaliya was a devotee का contact है. He killed Aghasur, Bakasur, Trinavart. He didn't kill all these people. Devotee hai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one step ahead. He is Kripa Parayan. Ram is Dharma Parayan. Krishna is Prem Parayan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Kripa Parayan. He goes one step ahead. He has no quality. I will give him mercy first. So different devotees have different natures. So Draupadi, she could not tolerate a Brahmana being criticized and bound by the ropes and punished like this. Prabhupada writes, although Ashwatthama, he did not deserve to be called as Brahmana, he had violated the rules, but still Draupadi, out of her gentle nature, she did not like it. Draupadi, she puts forth so many arguments. She says, it is obligation to Guru. Nyaya, dharma is, he is a Brahmana. Nyaya means, you have learned all your military art from Dronacharya, right? And Ashwatthama is the son of Dronacharya. How can you behave with Dronacharya, Ashwatthama in this way? If you had not learned all your military art from Dronacharya, how could you now bind the son of Dronacharya? It is not good. That is Nyaya. Then she is feeling Karuna. I am crying. I am lamenting for my sons. I don't want Kripi. I don't want the mother of Ashwatthama to undergo the same pain. Nirvyalika, she is telling, look, we should not insult the respectable order. Brahmanas are always to be respected. We should not insult them. We should not kill them. We should have equal understanding, and if Brahmana is neglected, will be destroyed. So, when somebody speaks very logically, philosophically, some people change their opinions, right? So Krishna changed his opinion. Earlier, Krishna was telling, kill him. But then after hearing the statements of Krishna, Draupadi, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he agreed. Dharmyam nyayam sa karunam nirvyalikam samam mahat Raja dharma suto ragyah pratyanandad vacho dvijah. He agreed. It is dharma. According to dharma, it is justice. It is according to the mercy. And then after hearing the statements of Draupadi and Yudhishthir Maharaj, Nakula also agreed, Sahadeva agreed, even Krishna agreed. Okay, Arjuna also agreed. Everybody agreed. The ladies of the palace agreed. But only one person disagreed. Bhima. He recommended, no, Ashwatthama should be killed. And Draupadi and and Bhima, they are against. So Krishna manifested four arms. And he was trying to keep Draupadi and Bhima separate. Please, you don't fight. So Krishna manifested two more arms. And then Krishna told Arjuna, O Arjun, Brahma bandhurna hantavya atataye vadharhanaha mayo vabhayam atmanam paripahi anushashanam. A brother, a friend of a Brahmana is not to be killed, but if he is an aggressor, he should be killed. All these are given in the scriptures. And also, I have heard, Kuru Pratishrutam Satyam. I have heard that you have promised Draupadi. You have to fulfill your promise. You have to please Draupadi. You have to please Bhima. You have to please me. Now you please do the needful. So this is a very interesting thing, right? Arjuna is in complete dharma sankat. But Arjuna, because he knew the heart of Krishna, he resolved the conflict. Sudha Goswami uses a very beautiful word. Arjuna sahasa gyaya harir hardam mathasina manim jahar murdhanyam dvijasya saha murdhajam harir hardam atha agyaya. Arjuna knew the heart of Krishna. He could understand the motives of Krishna. Therefore, what he did? He took out his sword and he removed the jewel and some parts of hair from the head of Ashwatthama. So therefore, it is very important. When some contradictory and conflicting instructions are given, to the extent we are well versed with the intentions of the order giver, to the extent we are fixed in the philosophy, to that extent we'll be able to carry out the instructions, conflicting and contradictory instructions in a right way. Arjuna, he knew that Brahmana should never be killed. And he knew the heart of Krishna, that he is testing me. So therefore, he understood what to do. And Sudha Goswami tells that the prescribed punishment for a Brahmana is never including killing. Prescribed punishment for a Brahmana is he should be wiped off all the wealth, all the prestige. And actually Ashwatthama had already lost his luster because he had killed children. So, Arjuna, he just removed his jewel which was there on his head and removed his hair, parts of hair, and he unbound him and he drove him out of the camp. In this way, that was the proper punishment for a Brahmana. So it is very, very important that Bhagavatam teaches us right response. Bhagavatam is not just to read and, oh wow, it was a good story, good lesson. We have to learn how to respond when problems come, how to respond. That's what the characters of Bhagavatam are teaching us, how to respond in difficult situations. Throughout Bhagavatam, this is the recurrent theme, how to respond to the problems of life. Bhagavatam is not just it is a recipe book. When you read recipe book, you don't just read recipe book in a leisure time and then you sit. No, you enter the kitchen and you start making the recipe. When you read Bhagavatam, you have to apply Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam inspires us to remember Krishna, to deal with the circumstances at the right way, in the right way. So therefore, in this way, Arjuna, he did the needful, and then all the sons of Pandavas, and Draupadi, they performed the last rites of the departed relatives. So in this way, the chapter ends. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So if anybody has any questions, you can please ask. So any questions?
Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Hi, yes.
May I ask one question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I have heard that Ashwatthama is immortal.
Yeah.
So was this known to Yudhishthir, Draupadi, and everyone? And for that reason, was that one reason that they did not kill him or something like that?
That is not mentioned in Bhagavatam here, although it is there that he is one of the Chiranjeevis, but that is not mentioned why he was not killed, because the main reason which is described is he was a Brahmana, and that's why a Brahmana should not be killed. And also because he was given the benedictions that he will live for a long time. Chiranjeevi does not mean he is immortal.
Okay.
It is for the entire life of entire kalpa. So that is understanding of Chiranjeevi. Some people are Chiranjeevi in the sense that they live for the entire life of Brahma. So just like there are 7 Chiranjeevis, Vyasdev is Chiranjeevi, Hanumanji is Chiranjeevi, Vibhishan is Chiranjeevi. There are many people who are described as Chiranjeevi. That means they live for a long time, either for a kalpa or for a life of Brahma, or few kalpas.
Okay.
So in that sense, they are called as Chiranjeevis. Okay.
Okay. And this is not mentioned in Bhagavatam, you mean to say?
Yeah, it is not mentioned in Bhagavatam that that's why he was not killed. So that may be the case, but that is not mentioned in Bhagavatam.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Everyone.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Haribol Prabhuji. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.